Fred is a black cat who lives near me is primarily a basis for theological reflection. Of course, it is a story, not particularly enthralling story as stories go, but a very positive and simple way to begin to theologically reflect. Theological reflection is something we all do. Who is God? Does God love me like I love my cat? Does God love me? How do I know? How does God view creation? How does my life answer any of these questions? Why did I think of them in the first place? Fred is a black cat who lives near me is a simple story to help us all easily begin to reflect on our experiences of life and God. No explanations are necessary. Helpful hints would give bias to the reader and hinder the discovery that reflection is really easy. If you are stuck and find grappling with this is difficult, think to yourself in each situation, am I Fred? When am I Fred? How does this part of the story reflect my understanding of God, or perhaps provoke a side of God I hadn't considered before? There are no right answers, there are therefore no wrong answers. Whatever thoughts this story provokes in you are good, constructive thoughts. The easiest way to theologically reflect is to think through the ideas provoked in you and then discuss them with a friend who has also read the story. In many ways you will agree, in many ways you won't. Either way, you are encouraging your spiritual growth. Read it, think about it, play ideas around it, theologically reflect with it. It may provide the catalyst to deeper reflections about God and us. Or is it us and God? Fred is a black cat who lives near me. He really lives with me, but he does not see it that way. Rather, we share an area by mutual agreement. Well, mutual agreement is overstating the issue a bit. He realizes he has no choice. After all, I was here first, and I chose him to live with me. He maintains the freedom to leave at any time, and therefore, for some quirky reason, he believes that he actually has the freedom to come in the first place. Anyway, Fred and I share this territory, which I call the house and garden. When Fred first arrived, he was unsure of himself. I can still remember him tentatively exploring about and doing things and eating things he shouldn't. It took a long time for him to learn. He still is learning, because only yesterday he ate something he should not have done, and it had a really peculiar effect. He will not eat it again. Fred is a very resourceful cat. Very soon he knew the house well, and so he decided to break out into the garden. I'm unsure of whether he realized that I had left the door open for him or not, but he took his first steps out into the garden. He smelt the flowers. He smelt the weeds. Now, I know that weeds do not smell, but Fred had not seen one before, so he did not know. My garden is very untidy. I do not have a lawnmower, and so for Fred it is like a jungle. It's not very big either, but I keep 3 chickens in it, and Fred soon learned that he could not boss the chickens about, and all of them now get along fine. Fred has grown now into a big black cat. Though he is big, he is not fat. He is a very fit and muscled cat because he looks after himself. He exercises each day, he eats well and takes plenty of rest. He also has lots of energy and runs around protecting the house and garden. He says he defends it for me, but I don't need it defending. For my house and garden are open to all. You don't have to buy a ticket. I have spoken to Fred about it, saying that I do not need a guard keeping other creatures out, for everyone is welcome. Fred, though, of course, doesn't see it this way. To him, the house and garden are his territory to protect against intruders. I don't understand why, but Fred does. It is interesting that these intruders to Fred are other cats. Dogs, birds, flies and bees, they're allowed in, or is it that Fred cannot prevent them coming in and so has to rationalize his beliefs? Dogs and birds are allowed in because of some intensely theological reason that no one can understand. Cats are not allowed in the garden. I don't really see why. They can hardly make a mess. The garden is a total mess with weeds everywhere, so having other cats in would probably make it a better place. At least the grass would be trampled down a bit more. Anyway, you would have thought that Fred would like to have had some friends round to play. But no. Now, I have known Fred has been like this for some while. It was, though, today that I realised just how vehemently he protects the garden. This is what happened. Fred has been poorly with a cold, with lots of sniffs and sneezes. He's a lot better now, but he's still recovering, so, of course, I haven't let him out into the garden in this cold weather we've been having. Yesterday, I was sitting on the settee reading a book on how to manage your relationships within the workplace, and I was absorbed in the book. I guess I was very relaxed and certainly was not fidgeting. I knew that Fred was in the room looking out of the window. I thought he was just daydreaming. He forgot that I was in the room. Suddenly there came an awful cat cackle, the kind they make when they are hunting, and Fred was hard against the window with his nose squashed and little clouds of condensation forming on the glass. I keep ornaments on the windowsill, and so when Fred leapt off he took a few of them with him, and as he hurried towards the patio door I had half an inclination to open it for him. Instead, I sat there and watched, almost paralysed at the spectacle, as it unfolded before my eyes. Fred hurtled round the room, round the house, knocking all sorts of things over as he darted from one window to another. And why? There was another cat, a white tortoise-shell cat in the garden, in his garden. Fred was incredulous and implored me to let him out so that he could defend our garden against this intruder. "Isn't it great?" I said. "Another cat coming to be with us." Fred implored, until it slipped out that he thought the garden was his garden. "After all," he said, "I am the one that walks in it, sleeps in it, hunts in it. Sometimes." I picked up Fred and I cradled him in my arms as I had since he was a kitten. I did not want to chastise him. He did not understand that the world was a much wider place than he imagined. Fred leapt out of my arms and sprung to the window. He meowed and cried, and I picked him up again. "Do not distress yourself," I said. "It doesn't matter," tickling him under the chin. Instead of relaxing, Fred arched his back and using all his strength levered himself out, or at least tried to. For I'm bigger and I'm stronger, and there is nothing he can do without me knowing. In fact, his thoughts are so visible in his body movements and facial expressions, sometimes I know what he is thinking and feeling at the same time that he does. Whoops! Fred has leapt up onto my desk as I write. "Would you say that I can read you like a book, Fred? You know the times when you pretend that you really aren't paying attention to me when I am unwrapping fish? You look so well controlled, giving the impression that you don't care that I have fresh mackerel. You want me to leave the room, believing that you won't pounce on it and eat it." Fred replies, "But you love me. Only me. No one else." "You are special, Fred. There is no one like you." "So you don't love the other cats, then?" "I have so much love. Fred, I cannot help but love everyone. And I wish you would too. It would make your life so much easier if you didn't get upset about the things that aren't important. You could hurt yourself running around the garden trying to defend the garden. And what for? The garden is for everyone. Please try and welcome them in. My love is all you need."